Descended from the archdevil Mephistopheles, infused with infernal power, Canaans are mortals who carry a dark spark of the lower planes of Kanaya within their souls. They can fan that spark to bring darkness, ruin, and unleash the fury of the hells. Canaans can arise among any population of mortals. The mothers of Canaans always die in childbirth, serving to strand the newborn on the material plane, where it is commonly orphaned. They can vaguely resemble their parents, but can live to be over 750 years old and often have dominant features that hint at their infernal heritage. These often begin subtle and become more obvious when the Canaan gains the ability to reveal their full infernal nature. Never accepted by society, Canaans invariably grow up bitter and twisted, but, due to their powers, they often became exceptional spellcasters and assassins. Many, though, were made ambassadors to the worshippers of various diabolic powers, usually Mephistopheles, Beelzebul, and Levistus. Loners by nature, Canaans like to get lost in the crowds of large cities, especially in places where people didn't ask questions. Good aligned Canaans are extremely rare, if they exist at all. Year 0 Year 14 life for this Canaan began much as it does with most, baptized in blood. Orphaned at birth, Fortune smiles as Imeariel is adopted into the noble Uthraki family. The head of the Uthraki noble house was once given a prophecy that there will be one not of your blood, and will one day raise the noble house of Uthraki to depths that generations to come would not soon forget. As a child, Imeariel was a natural prodigy of the mystic arts, praised that he stood with the best of his generation. At age 12, Imeariel would graduate the Thion Arcane College as one of many bright students to graduate that year. At age 13, he survived the culling trials for the Red Wizard Academy. Imeariel's accomplishments were a source of great pride for his noble house, viewing him as proof of the Uthraki's future prosperity, and his younger stepbrother, Nixilis, viewing him as the example of family excellence to strive for. Now, amongst some of the finest arcanists of the era, Imeariel finds himself surrounded by limitless opportunity to discover the secrets behind his infernal heritage. Through his studies he came across ancient tomes with endless accounts of the Blood War. He was fascinated with the power, pride and duty of the Batorians as they single-handedly stave off the corrupting influence of the Tanari and the desire to throw the cosmos into ruin. It was only after truly understanding the role the Batorians valiantly play in the conservation of our reality that Imeariel, soon after, started consorting with fiends. It wasn't long after that Imeariel sought out the archdevil of Kanaya Mephistopheles. Imeariel eagerly bartered his soul for access to the secret of hellfire and a place amongst the archdevil's arcanist. Any deal to be brokered with the Lord of Kanaya has its price, paid in blood. The path to power is paved with the blood of those that have come before you. Imeariel would learn this hard truth firsthand. 15th name day in a dark ritual, meant to forever bind his soul to Kanaya, Imeariel gathered all members of his adopted family for a grand ball celebrating his 15th name day. It was on this day that he would offer up the entire Uthraki bloodline as sacrifice in this darkest ritual of betrayal, fire and blood. However, his hand was stayed when it came to his beloved brother Nixilis. Unwilling to consign Nixilis to this fate, he instead subjected his loving little brother to a dark ritual that would forever end his mortal life and consign his soul independently to the 9 hells, and then forever bind his brother's soul to himself as his loving and loyal imp familiar, now christened Bob Nixilis. With the price paid and his brother eternally at his side, the pact primeval was complete. The 99-story Academy of Hellfire waits patiently for Imeariel's arrival. Year 15 to 64. The years passed painfully slowly as Imeariel continued to work under the Red Wizards while studying secretly at Kanaya's Hellfire Academy, eliminating any of the cutthroat arcanists that looked too much into his half-mortal heritage. Imeariel understands the mortal half of his parentage to be weak and harbors much hatred towards the mortal condition. He views mortal as little more than fuel to feed the infernal engine. In turn, there were several attempts on Imeariel's life, for Kanaya had no pity for the weak. With each victory his power grew, and Imeariel became infamous for close-quarters fighting. Imeariel is no master of unarmed combat, but once he had a hold, it was over. Hex, Burning Grasp, then Ignite, such splendid spells that work with just a touch. Some thought they could stay at a distance. They would then feel the all-consuming flames of Kanaya engulf them. A halo of hellfire would begin to appear around Imeariel as he burned him to naught but ash, a sign of terror to Imeariel's rivals that he welcomed. The lesser Arcanists call him Devil's Hand, a warning to the Arcanists that joined after him. Imeariel was never unarmed. He had no weapon to destroy or steal. He had nothing to rely on except his own power, and unexpectedly to those that challenge him, his brother Obnixilis. There are few problems that cannot be solved by the application of overwhelming arcane firepower. If one will not bow, then he is to be obliterated without a moment's thought. Wielding the powers of the Hells, Imeariel quickly climbed the ranks of the Red Wizards. He was seated the rank of Nishka. The Nishkas, named after the magic-eating Nishru, are the monster hunters of the Red Wizards. Authorized to study everything that moves, they gather any valuable information on the magic creatures of the realms. Imeariel uses this as a cover for his time spent away in Kanaya and for the adventures he undertakes to uncover hidden power. A Nishka may command the service of any lower-ranking Alakir. It was in this service that Imeariel met Leviathan, a true practitioner in his field, as one who he had known at Kanaya's Hellfire Academy. The two bound to one another in service in the mortal realm and as infernals made allies against a mutual rival, the Lord of Hunger, Belzenlock. It has been nearly 50 years since I have begun my diabolic descension into power and forbidden knowledge. Perhaps it's time I step away from my tomes and libraries to see what potential, if any, this new generation may hold. All glory to the Black Throne.